Then came the tariffs, markets crashing, retirements wiped out, America isolated, weak.
Weaver and Schmidt, all losers.
The Lincoln Project has raised $90 million.
We have the opportunity to help save the goddamn country.
They knew what it meant to be an American. Now it's our turn to fight for America, to stand up to a darkness that threatens the basic rights of Americans.
Trade game. He pardoned terrorists and criminals. This isn't a second term. It's Trump's second chance to end America.
Trump just became the world's most expensive marketing team, and he's working for free. The Lincoln Project figured out that if you make fun of Trump's hair, waistline, or tiny hands, he'll blast their ads to millions of followers in a rage. They've literally mapped Trump's ego like a battlefield and are launching surgical strikes using nothing but jokes commanded.
And loyalty over competence. Turned the Justice Department into his revenge machine. Let this guy steal your private data.
Lincoln Project member said, "We don't need an advertising budget. When Trump promotes our content for free, I'll show you exactly how they're turning America's angriest ex-president into their personal billboard." Quick favor before we move on, if you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. Ever notice how Trump falls for the same trick over and over again? The Lincoln Project definitely did, and boy, are they making the most of it. These guys aren't just throwing random insults at the wall to see what sticks. They've basically created a detailed map of Trump's ego, studying it like generals planning a major attack. Think about it. Most political ads are boring and forgettable. You know, the type dramatic music, scary voice, saying someone will raise your taxes, blah blah blah. But the Lincoln Project does something totally different. They hired actual psychologists to figure out exactly what makes Trump tick, or more accurately, what makes him explode.
So no, you're not better off. You're not safer. Nothing is cheaper. The economy is worse. Our country is in danger.
After studying Trump's behavior for years, they discovered he has 3 big weak spots that he absolutely can't handle. Jokes about, first, his appearance, especially his orange skin, weird hair, and body shape. Second, his masculinity, anything suggesting he is weak or not manly enough. And third, being called a loser, probably his biggest trigger of all. The man built his whole brand on winning so much, we'd get sick of it, remember? So what did the Lincoln Project do with this information? They created ads perfectly designed to hit all these buttons at once. Take their Grumpy Trumpy ad. It shows Trump as this angry orange Oompa Loompa stomping around and throwing fits. It's not just funny, it's a precision strike on his vanity. The cartoon Trump waddles around with an exaggerated pout and tiny hands flailing everywhere. It makes him look ridiculous and childish, which is exactly what gets under his skin. Then there's the Donnie Diapers ad, where they put him on a golden toilet having a full-blown temper tantrum. Think about how that hits all 3 weak spots at once. It mocks his appearance, makes him look like a baby, not very manly, and portrays him as someone who whines when he doesn't get his way. That's like the perfect storm for triggering Trump's anger. What makes this strategy so brilliant is that Trump literally can't win either way. If he ignores the ads, they spread on their own, and people laugh at him behind his back. If he responds, which he always does, he proves their entire point about being thin-skinned and immature.
Do you want to make any comment about this Lincoln Project ad? Yeah, no, I saw it.
Trump plan will kill. The end is coming.
It's like watching someone step on a rake over and over again. The ads hit hardest when they target the gap between how Trump sees himself and how others see him. In Trump's mind, he's this strong, powerful, successful businessman who everyone respects. But these ads portray him as a whiny orange diaper wearing man-child who can't handle the slightest criticism. That contrast is painful for someone with his ego.
Knew what it meant to be an American. Now it's our turn to fight for America, to stand up to a darkness that threatens the basic rights of America.
Project basically created the perfect psychological trap, and Trump falls for it every single time. One Lincoln Project member said Trump is physically incapable of letting an insult slide. His need to counterpunch is so strong that he'll damage himself just to respond. His advisors have apparently begged him to ignore these provocations, but he just can't help himself. And here's the best part of their whole strategy. They barely need an advertising budget. Normally, political groups spend spend millions trying to get their ads seen by voters, but the Lincoln Project just makes these silly videos, waits for Trump to see them, and then watches as he blasts them out to his millions of followers in a rage weaver.
All losers.
The Lincoln Project has raised $90 million.
We have the opportunity to help save the goddamn country.
Basically working as their unpaid marketing department. Think about it. When Trump posts an angry rant about a Lincoln Project ad, what's the first thing his followers do? They go watch the ad to see what made him so mad. It's like if Coca-Cola could somehow trick Pepsi into showing Coke commercials to all their customers. Trump is literally helping spread the very messages designed to mock him. This strategy has turned Trump's digital presence into his own personal tantrum playground. Every time he takes the bait, he validates their portrayal of him as someone who can't handle criticism, and the cycle continues. They make fun of him, he melts down, his meltdown spreads their message further, and then they make fun of his meltdown too.
No, get those lights off! Off!
It's the hardest job in the world.
Lucky I brought some notes.
Like a perpetual motion machine powered entirely by Trump's fragile ego. So the next time you see a particularly mean Lincoln Project at going viral, remember, it's not just a random joke, it's a carefully crafted psychological operation designed to exploit Trump's biggest weaknesses, and the real punchline, Trump himself is helping them do it free of charge. You could set your watch by how quickly Trump explodes after seeing a Lincoln Project at IBRASAS. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Right on schedule, like Old Faithful, but with more caps lock and spelling errors. Trump's reactions to these ads are so predictable that the Lincoln Project actually plans for them. They know exactly what he'll do, when he'll do it, and how he'll do it. It's like they have a crystal ball that only shows future Trump tantrums. One Lincoln Project creator said they can actually time their ad releases for maximum effect, knowing Trump will amplify the message at precisely the right moment in the news cycle. The weird thing is that Trump keeps falling for this trick over and over again. You'd think after the 5th or 6th time of stepping on this rake and hitting himself in the face, he'd learn to walk around it, but no, Trump sees a rake, and his first thought is, I should definitely step on this again.
Never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
America or Trump?
We at the Lincoln Project just want to say, it's okay.
Okay.
Seriously, we know you did your best.
It's like watching a cat repeatedly pounce on its own reflection in the mirror, except the cat usually figures it out eventually. His typical response starts with all caps Truth Social posts that honestly read like they were written by a toddler who just discovered the keyboard. The Lincoln Project is a bunch of losers and haters who couldn't get a real job sad. He'll string together random insults with excessive punctuation like he's trying to set some kind of world record for exclamation points per sentence. Then come the personal attacks against Lincoln Project members. Instead of addressing what the ads actually say, Trump goes right for calling them losers and haters.
We call it the Losers Project.
Let's lay that into rapid response.
After the Donnie Diapers ad showed him on a golden toilet, Trump responded with a jaw-dropping 7 separate Truth Social posts, each more unhinged than the last. He never once addressed the actual criticism in the ad, just attacked the people who made it its classic play. Ground bully stuff when you can't win the argument, just call the other kid a doo-doo head. But the truly weird part of Trump's responses is how he always throws in random brags about his accomplishments that have absolutely nothing to do with the criticism. An ad will mock his tiny hands, and suddenly he's posting about how he created the best economy in the history of the world.
You're great at remembering things.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Thank you, everybody.
I always say too much. Never mind the thousands of lies I have told to you.
It's like if someone said your haircut looked bad and you responded, oh yeah, well, I can do 15 push-ups. Good for you, but completely irrelevant to the conversation. According to sources close to the Lincoln Project, Trump is physically incapable of letting an insult slide. His ego forces him to respond to every single slight, no matter how small. His advisors have apparently begged him to ignore these ads, explaining that responding only makes them more popular.
Watching the power grab and illegality going on in Washington, it's easy to feel helpless, like there's nothing you can do.
Trump's need to counterpunch is so strong that he literally can't help himself. It's like his fingers have a direct connection to his ego, bypassing his brain entirely. What's really fascinating is how Trump's responses actually validate exactly what the ads are saying about him. The Lincoln Project makes an ad saying Trump is thin-skinned and immature, and then Trump responds by acting thin-skinned and immature. It's like if someone accused you of having anger problems, and you responded by flipping over a table and screaming, "I do not have anger problems." Not exactly making your case there, buddy. Take the Donnie Diapers ad. It portrayed Trump as a whiny baby who throws tantrums. His response 7 separate meltdown posts on Truth Social. He couldn't have proved their point better if he'd actually put on a diaper and cried on camera. It's almost like he's working from the Lincoln Project script. The end result of all this is that Trump's predictable tantrums turn into free publicity that spreads the Lincoln Project's message far beyond their original reach. Their ads might initially be seen by maybe 1 million people, but when Trump rage posts about them to his followers, suddenly, that audience multiplies tenfold. He's essentially giving the Lincoln Project a megaphone and saying, "Here, let me help you reach more people with your message about what a thin-skinned baby I am."
For tweeting, then came the tariffs, markets crashing, retirements wiped out, America isolated, weak.
Bleak. When Trump posts about these ads, he's basically working as an unpaid employee of the Lincoln Project. They create content and he distributes it for free. It would cost them millions in advertising to reach the audience that Trump gives them with a single angry post. His ego has turned him into the world's most effective billboard for anti-Trump messaging. Every time he takes the bait, he proves their point and expands their reach. At the same time, that's the real genius of the Lincoln Project strategy. They've turned Trump's biggest weakness, his fragile ego, into their greatest marketing asset. And the best part, he still hasn't figured it out. These Lincoln Project ads aren't just random funny videos you might scroll past on your phone. They're more like guided missiles aimed directly at Trump's ego. Every joke, every image, every word is carefully chosen to hit him where it hurts most. They don't just want to criticize Trump, they want to make him explode in anger, and they're really good at it. What makes these ads super effective is they're made by people who used to work with Republicans. These folks aren't just random Democrats taking shots at Trump. They're former insiders who worked with the Republican Party. They know exactly which buttons to push because they've been in the room blight
on America's presidential legacy. And yes, future generations will refer to you as that turd sandwich that accidentally won an election one time.
Are you better off than you were 100 days ago? Trump came back, not to lead, but to punish. He purged loyal Americans from government.
They've seen how Trump reacts to different things, what makes him tick, and what makes him totally lose it. It's like they have the cheat codes to Trump's brain. Take their Art of the Squeal ad. This one is genius because it attacks the thing Trump is most proud of, his supposed business skills. The ad flips his famous book title, The Art of the Deal, and turns it into The Art of the Squeal, portraying him as a failed businessman who just whines when things don't go his way. It shows Trump as someone who betrays his loyal supporters and highlights the transactional nature of his relationships. This hits him right in his carefully built image as a successful businessman and deal maker. Then there's their tremendous loser ad, which might be the most devastating one. Yet, this ad is like a fake game show that just keeps calling Trump a loser over and over again. It highlights all his second place finishes and failures. This targets his absolute biggest fear, being seen as someone who doesn't win. Trump has built his entire brand around being a winner, so being called a loser repeatedly makes him completely flip out the simplicity of just calling Trump what he fears most is exactly what makes it so effective. What's clever about these ads is they use Trump's own mythology against him. He spent decades building this image of himself as a brilliant businessman, a strong leader, and a winner. The Lincoln Project takes that carefully constructed image and flips it upside down. They're saying you think you're a deal maker, actually you're a whiner. You think you're a winner, actually you're a loser.
To inflation. Instead, he blew it. Trump's recession, inevitable. Trump's dumb tariffs,
Like they're holding up a funhouse mirror to Trump that distorts his self-image in the most unflattering way possible. The humor in these ads is super important. They're not just critical, they're funny, and that makes Trump's angry responses seem even more ridiculous by comparison. When someone makes a joke about you and you respond with a serious angry rant, you look silly. It's like if someone gently teased you about your haircut and you responded by throwing a chair through a window. The reaction seems way out of proportion to the joke, which just makes you look unstable. What really gets under Trump's skin is these ads make people laugh at him, not with him. Trump can handle being hated. He's been dealing with that his whole life, but being laughed at, that drives him absolutely crazy. There's nothing worse for someone with his ego than being the butt of the joke. When people are snickering at those tiny hands or that pouty face, it's like kryptonite to him. By using humor, the Lincoln Project creates content people actually want to share with their friends. Most political ads are boring and preachy, but these are entertaining. People forward them and post them not because they're making some deep political point, but because they're funny. This helps their message spread way beyond just political junkies into mainstream culture. Your aunt, who never talks about politics, might still share that Donnie Diapers ad because it made her laugh. The real genius move is turning Trump's counterpunching instinct against him. Trump always has to hit back when attacked. It's like a reflex he can't control, but in this case, the harder he fights back, the more he proves the Lincoln Project's point break.
Trade game. He pardoned terrorists and criminals. This isn't a second term. It's Trump's second chance to end America.
All through my tweeting, my mad existence, I broke my promise.
I broke my promise. They make an ad saying he's thin-skinned and easily triggered. Then he responds with an angry rant, which proves he's thin-skinned and easily triggered. It's like they've created a perfect trap he can't escape from. These Lincoln Project folks have basically turned Trump's biggest weakness, his fragile ego, into their greatest weapon. Every time he takes their bait, he amplifies their message while undermining himself. It's political jujitsu, using your opponent's own strength against them, and Trump falls for it every single time. The Lincoln Project has basically figured out the perfect formula. Make fun of Trump, watch him go nuts, and then let his meltdown do the marketing for them. It's like they've turned his massive ego into their personal advertising budget. Trump keeps falling for the same trick over and over again, and it's actually kind of sad to watch every time he sees one of these ads. Trump has two choices: ignore it or respond, and he always chooses wrong. His ego just won't let him stay quiet. He's become a prisoner of his own thin skin and